Alright, I haven't done this before, so I'm going to go ahead and press this. Welcome. Hello, it's me, Andrew Saputo. I am doing the cultural assignment. So let's go ahead and take a look and talk about who I am, where I came from, and exactly how I became the person I am today. So I was born and raised in Springfield, Oregon. Springfield is right next to Eugene. It is famous for Bart Simpson and The Simpsons. So that's what their big claim to fame is. I was raised in a farmhouse and born in the farmhouse, to tell you the truth. And grew up there, went to school there, and I've always been either in Springfield or Eugene for my entire life. So I went to the Springfield High School. I also went to the University of Oregon as well as Oregon State University. And I didn't work for Weyerhaeuser, but Weyerhaeuser is a big part of the community in Springfield, a lot of logging, and part of the Northwest as well. Eugene's known for being Tracktown, USA, as well as the mountain range, the Cascade Mountains. Those are a big deal for us. And, just the interesting architecture and interesting things that are in the Northwest. It's part of who I am, being from the Northwest, and just being a part of the culture there. So here's a few other pictures. There's me on top of the South Sister. So I felt like my family was a huge influence in myself, and not just my family, but the way my family interacts, the way my family holds their belief system, and the way my family behaves and hold to themselves. And so I wanted to go through a few of my closest family members to really identify who is important to me the most. So my father, his name is Joe Saputo. He was born and raised in Michigan, and as a teenager moved out to Southern California, where he grew up with his four siblings. And one of the big things a part of his life was being Italian. So he is full-blooded Sicilian, not born in Sicily, but his parents were both from 100% Sicilian families. And part of being Sicilian is being having a strong sense of definite culture and of what it means to be Italian. He's also an artist. He was featured on the Giro helmet, as well as multiple other things. And part of his creativity and the creativity of that side of my family is really, really huge. He also creativity is just kind of his big thing. He is a fantastic guitar player. Didn't have a picture of that, but he's also, a great cook as well. So those type of things, I feel like stem a lot from his upbringing, being raised in a Catholic Italian family, and having a strong sense of pride in those particular things. My mom, here's her with my new niece. I'm a new uncle starting, 3 days ago. So this is my mother. She is, it's a lot of order, but she's she's from Wales, which is on the British Isles, or not British Isles, but the United Kingdom. And she's a quarter Welsh, quarter Scottish, she found out, and half English. She was born in Birmingham, England, where she was raised, and left England when she was 6 years old, and grew up in Southern California as well. And so a lot of things that what she was raised from were ideas of strong sense of pride amongst behavior, and a strong sense of idealism as far as, being British and what it means to be British, and Welsh. She's also quite the seamstress. She sews a lot. She learned that from her great-grandmother, who taught her how to sew, or excuse me, grandmother, not great-grandmother, taught her how to sew and to do all sorts of interesting crafts. They did not get along, but she learned a lot from them. And she also loves to cook, and she has a beautiful garden, and takes pride in her gardening. And then I am not the only child. I have a brother and a sister. My brother is Nick. He took on the creative side, and he is he works with technology quite a bit. He right now works for a law firm, and he does technical support and networking and wiring all there. But he also enjoys the creative side of things. He helps my dad with some of his work as well. My sister got the creative side as well, but the musical section. She is a professional jazz singer down in Los Angeles. She went to the Thelonious Monk School of Music, and she just recently got married, and this fellow's name is Joe Bagg. He's a famous piano player. He plays with all sorts of different jazz musicians. And those two just recently had a baby, and this is the new addition to the family. This is Hazel. And that is brand new, and she is just a cute little button. So a lot of Gina's characteristics as well. You can see the really dark hair, and she's, I think, 3 days old, so pretty wild. So growing up Italian and English really defines a lot of how I perceive myself. I take a lot of pride in what I do, and I know that being a teacher is has a lot of gift to it, as well as taking pride in making sure that I do my best, and I put 100% effort into teaching. But being Italian means, having a large sense of pride for family. But it also means that there's a little bit of guilt involved. They were raised Catholic, and so as I grew up, I had struggled with guilt, and I struggled with, always feeling like, maybe I wasn't living up to expectations or whatnot. But that I'll hit on in a little bit, because I think that sense of guilt also stemmed from growing up in a religious household, and not necessarily Catholic, but a offshoot of what my parents learned, and so that has defined me quite a bit. One thing that's very, very important in an Italian family is the family itself. So staying in contact with my dad and my mom and my brother and sister, as well as like my extended family, my aunt and my uncles down in Los Angeles, and my grandmother, who's now a great-grandmother, down in Los Angeles. You can see that it's kind of the same thing with the British family. They have a lot of sense of pride within the family as well, but it's what it means to be English, and not necessarily what it means to be Italian. So it has some differences there. But they take a lot of pride in the things they do, and the you know, following certain traditions and whatnot. But one thing that helped out with my mom and my dad, how they got along, was that family was also a huge and very important thing in their lives. So here's a picture of my my grandfather. He was a photographer. He passed down those traits to his sons and to me as well. So I take a lot of pride in photography as well. And him and my grandmother later in life. This is my I keep saying great. This is my grandfather. He was a pilot, he was in the Royal Air Force or something. Anyway, he fought in World War II, and very British. Smoked a large pipe, so I never got to meet him. And this is just before my mom left England. I think she was 5 right there, or 6, and she left when she was just 6.5, 7. So what defines me? Well, this is me and my lovely wife, Maria. We take a lot of time and spend it together and just bouncing off of, each other's ideas and growing amongst within us, and sometimes that can be really hard, but it's also been really, really productive, and we keep growing as a family as well. Not like we don't have any kids or anything, but that's the intent. I love music. Music is one of the things that my dad passed on to me, but I never went with the profession aspect like my sister. However, I like to spread my wings as far as possible to see as many concerts and to get as much music as I possibly can. I love to hike and be outdoors. It's part of the aspect of being from the Northwest. Is just to love the outdoors and love the green and getting fresh air and whatnot. I am a Christian, and being a Christian is very important in my life, as well as not necessarily the Christian aspect of things, but more of just having a relationship with Christ and how that affects me and shapes who I am and what I do and my ethics and morals and beliefs. But here's a picture of my wife and I at a dance party, and we were horses, and so just kind of like being silly and having fun. So one of the other things that I love to do is I love to cook. So I had a couple of stop animations here. Cooking is huge in our family. It's very, 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 very important. So here's a stew that I made a while ago, and here's my aunt helping cutting up some carrots. She's a professional chef. She works with Wolfgang Puck, and she was teaching me how to cut up carrots. So family is very important. There's my sister-in-law on her wedding day. That's my dad and my brother, as well as me in the quite a long time ago. It's me when I was growing up. This is my cousin, Tim, and his wife, who just actually announced that they're going to have a child. This is at their wedding with my Aunt Nina and my Aunt Dow and Katie and Lauren and my sister Gina right in the middle. Or, well, my aunt's in the middle, my sister's right next to her. Right there, it's my sister. This is my wife and I. A couple years, I think a year after we got married. I had a mohawk then. I don't have something else now. This is my dad and my sister at the wedding. So things that shape who I am. I love to collect things. I collect all sorts of different things. Basketball cards, baseball cards. I collect, you name it, I collect it. Looks like my computer got... 1 second. Oh, that was weird. Is that on now? Yes. Okay. Computer got disconnected. Love collecting records, and that's my big thing. Records. I love them. And I have thousands of them. I think I'm at 3,000, or about 3,000. I love the art. I think by being raised as someone who is within art and music, I took upon photography and videography, and those two things are huge in my life. And I do weddings, and I just love taking photos of just nature and friends and different things. I live to travel and explore. Going to Paris, everywhere I can go, getting out and seeing as many things as possible. And of course, music and nature are two huge things. I play the guitar. I'm not very good at it, but I like to play the guitar and sing, as well as get out and fish. That's me fly fishing. So I fly fish as well. And some of the characteristics that define me: I'm an easygoing person. I got that from my family and the surroundings of being in the Northwest. I think that's really influenced me. I don't like to cause a fuss. I like to be, out and about, but also be, I don't like a lot of conflict. I do have a firm belief in Christ, but I've learned. I grew up in a very strict church, and that church defined a lot of who I was because they were very closed-minded, and so I decided that wasn't going to be a part of my life, and I took upon having an open mind and open heart to everybody and anybody, and I think that's really helps myself, helps the people around me as well. And a part of that, part of being a Christian is selflessness, and just, it's not about me, it's about helping others and being kind. Once again, I enjoy nature. Here's another picture from that specific trip where I did a little time lapse and went snowshoeing. And I love humanity and being creative and exploring new things and being myself and never acting like anybody else, being fake. But, yeah. So I think part of, being authentic stems from my family and how I was raised and everything like that. So that is my slideshow, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.